Dear Matthew, dear Corinne, dear laureates and finalists of the Daphne Caruana Galizia Prize for Journalism, dear Vice Presidents, dear leaders of the political groups and their representatives, 5 years ago, Daphne Caruana Galizia was assassinated for exposing corruption and organized crime. They thought that this would silence her, but if Daphne's revelations reverberated throughout the country, her death caused an earthquake that shook the foundations of Europe. I am proud that the European Parliament has spearheaded the calls for justice, for respect of the rule of law, and for media freedom. For the last half a decade, we have stood with Daphne's parents, sisters, and children, Matthew, Corinne. We continue to stand with you. We have legislated, we have demanded answers, we have scrutinized. Because Daphne Caruana Galizia was an extraordinary journalist and a fierce fighter for democracy. Throughout her life and in all the investigative stories that she worked on, she had one underlying principle: to do her duty. Not what benefited her, not what was convenient, not what people wanted to hear, but what was right, what was necessary. That is the basic principle that drives people like Daphne: duty, the search for truth, so that what is wrong can be exposed, stopped, and fixed. And so, to honor Daphne and all that she stood for, we are gathered here today to award a prize bearing her name to outstanding journalistic work guided by the very same values that she stood and fought for. Allow me to thank Vice President Pina Picerno for her work on this initiative. Special thanks also to First Vice President Othmar Karas, a member of the European Parliament, David Casa, for their efforts in establishing this award in this House. It is no coincidence that this press room that we find ourselves here today is named after Daphne Caruana Galizia. In the European Parliament in Brussels, it is no coincidence that we have the Anna Politkovskaya press room, a tribute to a Russian journalist and human rights activist who was also assassinated for doing her job. Two press rooms united in a single message. Journalists must never be a target. Their fight for the truth should never be conditional. Their voice should never be silenced. With the Daphne Caruana Galizia Prize for Journalism, the European Parliament is sending a strong message that we will always stand by the side of truth seekers, on the side of justice, of independent journalism. Today we reaffirm this commitment not only to journalists, you present in this press room, but to all media professionals who are facing threats designed to influence their work. Because we know that the freedom of journalists to be able to do their jobs cannot be uncoupled from the protection of our democracy. We are talking about two sides of the same coin. Protecting journalists, protecting the truth, means protecting our way of life. And especially in these dangerous and uncertain times, supporting the free media means supporting democracy itself. And now it is my pleasure to welcome the General Secretary of the International Federation of Journalists and representatives of the jury, Anthony Belanger, to announce the winner of the 2022 Daphne Caruana Galizia Prize for Journalism.